This is Book Talk with Corbin. I'm your host. Folks, I'm going to do something a little different today. Just this one time. I'm going to read to you a Facebook post I recently received on my personal page. It really struck me. I like the post. What I'm going to do is read it to you word for word. Then I'm going to give you basically, I don't want to say a word for word, but sentence by sentence response to the post. Here it is, quote, China and India are teaching their students to become experts in math and science so they can take over the world with high-paying jobs. And American teachers are teaching our students to be victims and hate the country they live in and develop zero useful skills. Now, since this was a public post, I'm going to let you know who put it up, and it was a Wanda T. Adams. This is my response to that post. China and India are teaching their students to become experts in math and science. True. Absolutely true. If you look at a lot of the Indian folk who come into the United States, they are, the majority of them, involved in math-based, high-paying careers. Let me repeat that. If you talk to many of the Indian folks who are here, and you'll find that the majority of them are involved in math-based, high-paying careers. The vast majority of them also, they didn't learn that math in the United States. They learned it in India. Years ago, I used to be a cab driver so that I could see my daughter anytime I wanted. I wanted to be able to make money. I wanted to be somewhat independent and be able to see my daughter anytime I wanted. One thing I noticed in picking up people early in the morning was that on certain corners in East Louisville, the better part of Louisville, I would see whole groups of Indian folk there, male and female. Whole groups waiting for the bus. So I asked the guy one time, I said, who are they? What are they doing? He said, oh man, they work for Humana. I said, you kidding me? What kind of work they do? And he told me, it's usually computer related. And I said, how do they get here? He said, oh, they're recruited. He said, they're recruited because of their math background, their math skills, their math education. Think about that. Think about that. Just let that soak in a little bit. My ex-wife was from the Philippines, so quite naturally, we went to a small church that was predominantly Filipino. One thing I immediately noticed with them is that most of them were involved in high-paying medical field careers. Their English wasn't too good, but their math and science was solid. Solid. And they didn't learn that math and science in the United States. They learned in the Philippines. And they used that, they come into the United States to make some serious money. I one time learned from one Filipino, she told me she actually organized a situation where her hospital sent her to the Philippines to recruit nurses. Did you hear what I said? She worked with her hospital, and they sent her, this Filipino sister, to the Philippines to recruit nurses. Can you imagine a Humana or a hospital picking up the phone and calling someone like Shawnee or Central High School, two major education institutions in West Louisville, predominantly black, and saying, hey, we want to come there and recruit some of your math and science students. We're not going to wait for graduation. We want to get them now. You imagine some of these major companies going to Simmons College, Simmons University, and saying, look, we know your graduation's coming up in a week or so. We'd like to go now and talk to your students who are math and science majors because we need to recruit them. We need them. We need the nurses. We need the IT people. We need the coders. We need them. We want to come recruit them now. Please let us come in there and talk to them now. Can you imagine that? Humanity don't care. They go to India, they recruit. Go to the Philippines. Some of these companies, hospitals go to the Philippines, they recruit. They're just looking for folk to fill those positions. They're looking for people who are qualified in math and science. They're looking for them. They're looking for them. They're recruiting them. They're begging them. Come here. Come work for us, please. Let's go to the next part of this post. And American teachers are teaching our students to be victims. That's true. That's what critical race theory does. It teaches black folk that you are perpetual victims, and you have been so for 400 years. 400 years? After 400 years, you still a victim? Boy, you doing something wrong. You need to give it up. After 400 years, you still a damn victim? Really? After 400 years, you still view yourself as a loser. Man, you're doing something wrong. You need to do something else. That's like 400 years. You've been a victim. 400 years. You've said to the world, we can't get ahead. 400 years. Really? 400 years. Go look at Japan. After World War II, they got their butts beat. They had 2 atom bombs dropped on them. Look, where's the nation of Japan today? Hello. Look at Russia. It was then the Soviet Union. Look what they suffered in World War II. Look what they suffered in World War II. Talk about the battle, Battle of Stalingrad? On top of that, the Soviet dictatorship, the famines, the number of people they lost in World War II. Look how they came up as a nation. They came to be a superpower. But black folk in America are saying, what? After 400 years, at least the white people, the white educators, the white liberal educators, the white liberal radical educators, we so compassionate about these poor little colored folk. They've been victims for 400 years. Man, after I saw what happened to the Soviet Union, Poland, Japan, after World War II, and then look at how what these nations are today, boy, I'd be embarrassed. But that's what it's true. That line is true. That's what critical race theory teaches. Black folks are losers and been perpetual losers for 400 years. Is that true? Really? Okay. And hate the country they live in. Oh, absolutely. National Education Association abhors Western culture, Western values in the United States of America. Well, you don't believe me? Go to their website. Don't take my word for it. Don't take Miss Adams' word for it. Go to their website, National Education Association. Look it up. Go to the website. And develop 0 useful skills. We've already established that math and science, being highly proficient in that, skilled in that, is going to get you money. It's going to put money in your pocket, going to get you a high income career. We've already established that. Instead, what do they encourage these black youth to do? To be an activist. You need to be an activist because, you're perpetual victims and losers. You need to be an activist. Well, what does woke math teach you? Well, we haven't done a good job in teaching these black youth math.